So what do we have here? Some old, half worn out, half fenders made by Minimizer. Old Tropic Thunder. Some chromey quarter fenders. They're decent, but not great. And then somewhere back here, we should have a brand new mounting kit. Right there for those fenders. Let's open it up and take a look. According to directions, you find a block of wood, stick that underneath there. On a spring ride suspension, you would measure between the axle and that bump stop to determine how much space you need. Because you know that's where the axle would stop. Mine's pretty close to a 4x4. I think I got enough room for that. Excuse me. But now we need to get that bracket mounted up here for this to mount on. Oh, it's been a few days and a few projects later, but I got the semi back in here, and I've started to mock up the fenders again. I've got them kind of right where I want them. They're sagging a little bit back here, but I'll pick that up with another bracket. But I had to remove the old quarter fender. I'm gonna have to cut this off. It's welded on this side. I think the bolt broke off if I remember right. And then I think I might space this out just so it's not rubbing against that. But I kind of like that placement right there. Seems like it gives me the right amount of room underneath there. 4x4 still underneath there. So I think that'll work. I'm going to play with them a little more here and I'll bring you back. So I got that guy mounted this tight. Went through that top hole there. And it's not bad, but it's really high. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down to this bolt that's right below it. That'll drop me down pretty close to 2 inches. Then I can leave that straight. That'll keep my spacing there. Just kind of bring this whole guy down, because man, I've got like 6 inches up in there. So that's way too much, but that's my plan. We'll see how that looks. So I got these lowered down on both sides where I want them. Spaced them out a little bit away from those bolts. And then I've got these brackets here that go at the back, and they almost line up with these holes. Kind of like so. So what I did was I took the other one and I cut it off. And I was just gonna let it fall onto the heads of those bolts. I was just gonna weld it right there. But it doesn't completely line up. But it would line up if I pulled the bolts and then just hung it there. So I got them both loose, but I can't like reach around and get the back side of them at the same time. So what I'm gonna do is fire the truck up, pull it out, unlock the fifth wheel, and then I'll take the skid steer, I'll shove it all the way to the front, and then I hopefully can reach down through here and run the wrench on both ends. But like I said, I got these done, so I'm not covering up the bolts with the fifth wheel. Both of them are in place. I let them both rock forward into that spring mount. I still need to pull the old ones off here. This one will actually pull off. I think it's bolted, pretty rusty in there. But the other one I had welded on a while back. So anyways, that's what I'm gonna try to do. I'm gonna spray these rails down with some graphite before I do that though. Man, did that take some screwing around, get that fifth wheel to move. But I did it. It's full of dirt down in there, so that's not helping anything. I'm gonna blow that out and then I will hose it down with some more graphite and WD-40. But the good news is I can get to the back side of the bolts fairly easy now, so that's my next step. Let's get this bracket put on there. It's taking some screwing around to figure out where everything needs to be. Ended up switching this back to the top hole. And that was all because of what happened on the back here. I wanted to go in these two holes, but this spring, shackle maybe, tips like this. So if I put it up or down in that hole, then it was gonna crash into it. So I used the top hole. I think I'm gonna plug weld that right there. I still need to put the L bracket up under here, hook that on. But for the most part, it's on there pretty darn level. It actually needs to come up just a hair, but I'll do that when I bolt this together. But I think that's gonna get me. So now, I guess, start tightening things up. The second side always goes faster. This one here looks a little bit tipped up, but I think that fender's actually just kind of bent open there. But they're both on there and they turned out pretty good. I'm not mad at it, so hopefully everything clears my trailer fine and they do their job. Keep all that dirt and mud and crap off my headache rack from now on. So I might end up hanging a short piece of mud flap here. I'm not for sure, but for now, it's time to pick up the tools and pull the truck out. Appreciate you guys watching and sticking with me. Thanks. We'll see you on the next one.